friends, it's Mona with Rock City Tumblers, and today I am going to show you another way to make a paper umbrella for your straw toppers, but this time instead of it being small, it's going to be much bigger. So if you didn't catch my last video, this one was the original drink umbrella, which you can see here. It's 3D, very sturdy, made out of UV resin and glitter, and it pops up above your drink topper. Super cute, just finishes the drink topper off in a very nice manner. However, it is kind of small, and if you wanted to do some designs on it, the canvas is a little bit smaller than what you might want. So I kept digging, and so these were the original ones that I used. That's what I used to make these. So all those links were in the other video. So these are silicone drink markers, and they're quite small, maybe 1.5 inches. You know, so these are great, super fast, super quick. Doesn't take a lot of product. You can do a lot of them at once, that kind of thing. So, but if you wanted a bigger one, say you had like a giant 40 ounce, like I made myself this giant, I believe this is 40, it's at least 30 ounce beach tumbler. So I needed a paper drink umbrella that would fit it well. So this one definitely rises to that challenge. How cute is that? And so I can add some ice and some cherries or pineapples, whatever I want, and then put this on the straw, and it will be super pretty. Just way to fun finish off your lemonade, whatever tumblers you're making. Okay, so to make the larger drink umbrella, you just need to go to Amazon and purchase these cup covers, and I'll have the link in the description below. So these are silicone cup covers. I'm not sure, she's like hanging out by the window here in the box, and she's got her cup cover on. So I'm guessing that it will help your tea steep, you know, if you have it on top of your mug. This is what it actually looks like. Here, silicone. It's in the shape of an umbrella. It's got a little plug on the top, like that. So it would cover a wide variety of sizes of mugs. You could also put it on your mug or your cup outside, like if you're at a picnic, and it would kind of maybe keep bugs from flying in it, things like that. So these were relatively inexpensive. They did have some colored, like red, yellow, orange, or whatever, but they were more expensive, so I just opted for these black ones. I feel like they were like $6. They were pretty cheap. So for this experiment, it was worth it. So again, I'll put the link below. You know, those prices jump around. So I've recorded this video. This is the third time. You're also going to need some UV resin, and this is the first time I'm trying the UV resin from Counterculture, and I highly recommend it. It's super low odor. Their light is amazing. It has all of the extra bulbs in it. It cures 2 minutes flat. It's super awesome. I'm going to be using it tonight. Hopefully I have enough to finish this umbrella. I was using some cheap stuff that I had gotten off Amazon like over a year ago, and just the odor is insane. So you also want to pick out a fun glitter. So this one, which I'm going to show you what not to do. This one was Smilk from Counterculture, CC DIY, super pretty. This one here, one of my favorites. This one was House of Blues by Mr. Nola. Super gorgeous. Look at that. Look at all that sparkle. Great for so this was a finer cut of glitter, and this was a chunkier kind of iridescent glitter. So I want to try a blue one. So I just got this in from Charlie Rose. This is Brunaria. So this is one of the colors she recommends on her beach tumblers. So I just got it in, so I'm going to try it. Okay, so I'm going to get the other little umbrella out of the way because that is a different video, so go check that out. Those are super fun, super cheap. Great ways to jazz up your topper. You can also, once you get your glitter on, you can paint the underside of your umbrella to help make it be a little bit less opaque. So you will need some sort of paint if you choose to do that. I also used just fingernail polish, and it worked great. So I got like beachy colors for that. It worked super, super awesome. So this one I don't have a beachy or a fingernail polish for, so this I have some turquoise just acrylic paint from Walmart. It matches the glitter quite well. I may not need it, just depends on how opaque the glitter ends up being. So you have your UV resin, you need a UV light. Again, I highly recommend, they just came back in stock on Counterculture. And also, I found a fun way to make some cute little flowers, and I'll put the link in the description so we can work on these while we're working on the umbrella too. These are also little drink markers. They're silicone, and these have little suction cups. And there's 5 different styles of flowers. And here's what I made with some of them just playing around. So there's the one with the glitter. And this was just maybe 1 layer of resin and some fingernail polish. It's purple, shiny. Here's another little flower. So you definitely, these need to be made thicker. I was just plain. Look how cute that one is. So these are 3D. And these were painted with nail polish. Here's a little sunflower. It even keeps the little ridges. How cute is that? So for this one, I was going to finish this one out, maybe, with some of these shapes here. Oh, here's the last shape. It's almost like a little lily pad. All right, so we'll play with those tonight. And so I went ahead and made several of this shape because this is like a tropical kind of Hawaiian flower. And I built them up with about 3 layers of UV resin. And then I spray painted them white because the gel fingernail polish was kind of taking a while to build up. Spray painted them white, and then I put some tacky glue, I believe it was super tight fusion tack, and sprinkled on this from Simply Sarah. This is April from her Birthstone collection. It's so gorgeous. So you might see it floating in the air because it goes everywhere. This color, and a little goes a long way. Oh, I've had this forever, never used it. So I'm going to seal all of this with resin tonight on the video. And then I'm going to come back and put a little dot of this this is November from Simply Sarah. Put a little dot in the middle just to give it a little center. So I have about 5. I don't think I'm going to need that many, and I'm not positive I want to put them on here. They are a little bit clunky after I ended up making them, but that was the idea. I can use them on a different project. Okay, so when you get your cup covers, if you just dive right in and start making your umbrella, similar to what we did in the other video with the little cup makers, this is how it turns out. It's flat. And I was super disappointed. I mean, it looks okay. And when I say okay, it's kind of like, okay, you know. on a tumbler, you can tell what it is, but mainly only probably because I drew the little paper lines in there with some glitter. But I'll show you all that. And then I was going to do some water slide on it, but I found these little stickers at Walmart, and they were kind of what I had in my head for the water slide. So I used them instead, and I hate it. Hate it, hate it. I was cheating. Should have made my own decals. Boo, I just do not like that. But you can see I used the pink nail polish on the bottom side of this, and it gave it an extra depth than if it had just been kind of see-through. Okay, so to avoid getting the flat umbrella, it's like Patrick Starfish, when you get your drink covers, you're going to need to take a slice out of your drink cover. So when you get the drink cover, it comes on this little piece of paper, and it's got 8 triangle wedges. And you know, like, I tried to kind of mold it a little bit when I was putting it under the UV lamp, but it eventually just sunk because that UV epoxy kind of shrinks just a smidge. Like, if you ever get your nails done, you can almost feel it kind of tightening on your nails when you put your hand under the light. So it eventually shrunk so much that it almost bowed itself up, kind of like that. And so I used the heat gun, and I tried to kind of ply it back down a little bit, but it's still kind of sunk in right there. So this is why I'm showing you guys this video, because I need you to learn what I learned. So if you cut a triangle out, then the umbrella sits up like an umbrella and no longer flat like Patrick Starfish. So I just took some super pointy sharp scissors. They were actually my little Cricut scissors that I use for kind of everything. And you get 4, so you kind of have a few to play with. So I cut right along the line. There's a little bit of a lip that sticks up, so I cut along the inside of that, and I left the little dealio because those do transfer over. And then I cut on the inside, and I cut that dealio off on this one all the way up. And then I did need to cut that little plug out of the top, so I'm going to do that here for you because it wasn't closing up, like doing the cone the correct way, if I left that little plug in. So so now, after you cut it, if you join it together, it's naturally got that cone that you want, instead of being flat. Okay, so to keep that together, we're going to use packing tape. So you do need packing tape too. So I want you to watch me cut this one. So again, I'm going to leave this little nubbin. I'm going to cut all the way up along that line, and then I'm going to cut on the inside. I'm going to take that nubbin off. I'm going to cut on the outside of that line, because this is going to meet with that. And I know it's black, it's hard to see. So this cuts really easily. So when I was doing this on the second filming, I was not paying attention to my camera at all. A lot of it was off camera. So I'm going to cut this nubbin off because I left this nubbin on. And I don't know if nubbin is the right word, but that's what I'm using. My scissors are going dull on me. Okay, so that triangle is gone. It is trash. You don't need it anymore unless maybe you want to set your flour on it to move around a little bit easier. You know, that kind of helps. All right, so now when you join that together, the that little plug part here kind of is in the way. See that? So it's making this little bulge in the where it meets. So you want to just trim as close as you can around that plug. I don't know what you want to call that. Get rid of that. So here's what we're wanting to do. Put this on this white so you can see it. Where's the other white? So this is what we got right now. So we need to get rid of this part here. Okay. Take my sharp scissors, super carefully, cut around that. So this that you're cutting, this little plug, is going to be the straw hole, if that's what you want it to be. If this is going to be a straw topper. So you're actually kind of helping yourself by doing this here in the middle. Okay, so that is now trash. Okay, so now you have here what I have. Maybe. So now to get it to stay together just long enough for you to get the UV resin on, that's where the packing tape comes in. So I don't know enough about silicone, but I don't know how to melt it or anything, and I'm not going to try. So I just need this to stay together long enough to put the UV resin on and cure at least one layer, and then it will hold. There's a little bit of a part sticking out. There we go. Okay, so we want to make sure that when we put it together that the ridges, there's some ridges here, that those are on the outside. So don't do it with the slick side up, because then you're not getting your ridges. That's just my advice. So when you put these two together, that one nubbin, and you lost this nubbin over here, you don't need it anymore, because they meet, and this nubbin now becomes the new thing. Okay, so when you flip it over, it's super shiny, and the packing tape sticks to it super well. Okay, so to get it to go together, you're going to take about an inch or so of packing tape. You're going to cone it, and make sure that when you cone it that the slickery side is on the inside and the dull side is on the outside. The dull side also has the ridges. So you're going to let those meet up, make the cone shape. Then use your tape to tape them together. So this is how you don't get Patrick starfish. You can like fold the little nubbins in of the tape pieces. So this should hold long enough for you to get one layer of UV resin on and cured, and then you don't have to worry about the tape anymore. Okay, so that's our next step. Put on gloves. And work in a well-ventilated area. Make sure your light's plugged in. You might test it, make sure it works. And if you want to just focus on the crack, you can, or you can do the whole thing. It's up to you. Just know that every time you mash on it at this stage, that tape could come undone. So we really are just wanting to band-aid. And I have a brush over here that I've been using to spread it out. Just real lightly, I'm not pressing real hard on it. I'm just spreading it around. Trying to catch it before it gets off the umbrella. And you don't necessarily want to fill in the hole unless you don't want this to be a straw topper. Then you can fill in the hole. So this layer can totally be messy, especially while you're getting used to it. And again, the more you mash on this, the higher the chances that that tape on the underside might come undone before you can get it to the UV lamp. Doesn't have to be perfect, we're just looking for enough. Okay, so there's quite a bit that ran off, so I'm going to kind of get that away from it so the blobs don't cure. If that makes sense. I don't want the blobs to cure on the bottom of my umbrella. So they're curing over here, the drippage. So a minimum of 2 minutes, which there's 30 seconds and 60-second settings on here. It does kind of help if you rotate the lamp so that it gets all sides. It's okay if there's some holes, some parts that didn't cover the silicone umbrella, because we're going to put another layer on it for structure before we do our glitter. Alright, so I'll be back. Okay, so that cured for 2 minutes. So I want to be super careful with this. We're not ready to pull it off of the foundation yet because it's still quite weak. It's not sturdy yet. I am just kind of trimming off any drippage that may have come from that super messy part that we just did, so that we're not building on that anymore. Okay, so now the umbrella hopefully is kind of connected to itself. I wouldn't test that theory right now because we want to do another one. And so you could see that there's parts that kind of repelled the epoxy. That happens. It happened on the other kind. Again, do not pull, do not try to take this off of the silicone yet. Let's go for another layer for structure. Okay. So I just eyeball this. So gravity is going to make that want to fall. So if you want to keep it up toward the top first and then pull it down, you can. kind of get better at this. And make sure that the little divide is filled in really well. But that gravity does want to pull that down quick, so you can help it. So this is where you'll fill in any gaps. You just kind of look at the shine. Focus on the edges and the little nubbins. So that right there is a little piece of tape, of the packing tape sticking out. I could have tried to trim that back. So again, I want to make sure that that little divide is really good and full of resin. So that's not a weak point in my design. And then I want to get the edges of the umbrella really good, because those two tend to repel. And then you can continue to build up your inner hull if you, that circle, if you don't want this to be a straw topper. Okay, another 2 minutes under the lamp. I think I did better on the drippage. You keep your paintbrush out of the way so that it doesn't cure, the UV resin on it doesn't cure. So I'll see y'all in just a minute. Alright, so we're back. So we have 2 full-ish layers. You want to make sure you have a minimum of 2 layers of UV resin on your umbrella silicone mold at this time. 2 fully cured. You can cure it extra, you can move your lamp around to help it. Make sure that it is super cured. So the next step, I'm still leaving it on the little silicone form, but I'm going to put my glitter on, and I use UV resin to be my glue. You could possibly use some other things like Mod Podge, but that's going to take a little bit longer because you're going to need to let that completely dry. You know, I would do it minimum of an hour, if not like overnight. So that's why the UV resin's kind of, to me, a better choice. And so this part gets a little bit messy because you're going to have some possibly drippy, UV resin going around. So this part should be super good. And, super good and solid. If you have any doubt that it's held together, you know, do it again. Look at that. Took the tape off. So it's holding itself together. So now I'm going to do a thin layer of UV resin, and then I'm going to move my mat out of the way to do the glitter. So this part can kind of get a little bit messy. So I just kind of stick it on something to raise it up a little bit higher. And I don't use as much UV resin for this because we're just using it for glue, for the adhesive. And it depends on your glitter, but some of the glitter I've done 2 layers. Again, it just kind of depends on the cut. I've got to order more. Really am loving the counterculture UV resin. Alright, so now we're just smearing this around just to be the glue. So we want to do a thorough job, but we're not trying to make it be super thick like we were in some of the other steps. And I wish that the black silicone base was like a white or even a blue, something that would kind of help me indicate how well the coverage is of the glitter. But you'll see that, and the beauty about this being 3D is that we can come in from the underside if we need to fix anything, and work from the bottom up if something happens that we don't like in this step. And we're not going to do that yet because we're not ready to peel off the base. We're just going to leave that on because with every layer of UV resin, our umbrella gets stronger and stronger and able to kind of hold its own out in the world. So at this point, if you wanted to paint it, you could. You could paint each section, so if you wanted to do like a beach ball look, where each one was a different color, you could do that right now. You know, carefully do that. Use acrylic paint. Then you can seal it or just do whatever. Just don't take it off, in my opinion, don't take it off of the black base just yet. You know, I just don't think it's strong enough. It could be, but I don't want to risk it. Yikes. That's why you have your mat down. I don't want to risk it just yet. Alright, did I mess anything up? It's got some stray glitter on it. Okay. So I'm going to move this mat so that I don't get glitter on it because it's really hard to get glitter off of those. I'm going to bring my glitter catcher paper over, and this is Charlie Rose Creations Brunaria. That's what the color of the blue is. And I did transfer it into a little container. I'm going to prop it up here just so it's a little bit easier to pick up. And this is probably like a 0.008. It's just a regular fine size cut. Oh, this is so pretty. And I'm just sprinkling it all over, letting the UV resin soak it up. Just heavily getting it all coated, the edges. And we're going to knock it off. Now it's all over my glove. Okay, so you can leave it on this paper. Hopefully it's not too drippy because it will kind of glue it to the paper. Pull your UV lamp over in 2 minutes. So 2 rounds of the 60 seconds. And I'll be back. So while that's curing, if you want to work on your flowers, you can. You just have to work on them away from the UV lamp. So you need kind of a larger space. And if you're curious, I'm using my new Archon mount to record this. So it does overhead. super awesome. Allows me to do all sorts of angles and things. So if you want to know more about that one, it is I believe it's the Creators Bundle. I did a YouTube video on when I opened it and how I put it together and my thoughts and everything. So check that video out. Okay, so this has gone through 2 rounds, so I'm going to carefully pick it up. It's kind of got glitter on it. If you want to, you can like dump your glitter excess before you do that step. Just, it depends on you and how comfortable you're feeling. So in my experience, since this is the 3rd one I've made, this top glitter is loose and you can knock it off with a brush. So this is just a makeup brush, but any kind of brush will do. And it should be super cured. I don't know if you use like a super thick chunky glitter, how well that would be super cured, but the smaller cuts, definitely the UV lamp does cure that. So I'm going to pick this up. So pretty, that color. So this is what it looks like with a black base. So if you want to paint the underneath black, you would know what it's going to look like. I can't imagine what it's going to look like when it's just blue. So at this point, I'm squeezing, you know, and I can feel that it is getting pretty substantial. The integrity of this umbrella. But I think I want to do another layer of the blue glitter just to make sure that we're getting the full effect. And the next layer will be another layer of the UV resin, so it's going to really help the integrity. I don't know if you can see that bending. This one has enough resin on it that it does not bend at all. Okay, so let's put this to the side for just a smidge. You don't have to do the 2nd layer of glitter. I just feel like it's we're already here, and I think it's going to really help the finished product to do it, and the integrity. So I'm going to do it. Right. So hopefully I have enough resin. We're running really low. Counterculture, you have good products. Okay, again, this is just an adhesive layer, so we're just spreading it around. And if you did not want to do another layer of glitter, then just do this step here, maybe a little bit thicker than what I'm doing right now. And this will be kind of your protector for your umbrella so that you're not scratching your glitter off in any of the next steps. So again, this is just adhesive layer. I can kind of see where it is and where it's not. Because it definitely looks a little bit wet where I've coated it for that 2nd time. I'm getting the little nubbins. I also like to paint my little nubbins white at the end. You'll see that. I feel like that's the traditional paper umbrella look because it's got like that matchstick wood inside of it. And that's just me. I need to buy some just so I can look at them. And I did find some forget-me-nots on Creative Fabrica, but I haven't printed them out yet. When I found those stickers at Walmart, I just kind of called it a day and shouldn't have phoned it in, but I did. Okay. So there's probably a little bit of glitter transfer on your UV resin brush that you might want to take a baby wipe and get that off. All right, so we are ready to glue or glitter again. Or if this is your top coat, then you can just stick it under your UV light. So I'm going to do another coat of glitter. Okay, 2 minutes. I'll see y'all when this is finished. So remember to kind of move your lamp around, make sure that that's getting all of the angles on that umbrella, because it is a cone shape. So, you know, moving that around does kind of help the angle of the light. So now by my count, I've got 4 layers, 2 pretty thick layers, and then 2 glitter adhesive layers of UV resin on this umbrella. So I should be able to peel it off of the silicone mold now. Now if you want to go ahead, you can do the top layer that's going to protect it. That's probably the best idea, so that you don't scratch it, because you don't want a big gash in your glitter and then you kind of have to redo that. So I'm knocking any glitter that did not glue. It's not a whole lot, you can tell. So you can see that most of that did adhere. So it shouldn't be translucent very much at all, because we did the 2 layers of glitter. All right, so I'm going to dump that, what little bit that is, to protect your work area. All right, so I'm going to do 1 more layer on top, and that's to protect my glitter, give it a final sturdiness. You can see it's just a little bit wiggly, just a smidge. All right, so hopefully I have enough to do this last layer. Again, I just kind of spiral it, and gravity pulls it downward. So I try not to get too close to the edges, because by the time I get around with my brush, gravity's pulled a lot of it down for me. So this one, I'm really just coating all of that glitter, kind of locking it in, so that wanted to put a decal on it. It might not be as bumpy. It might take 2 layers to get it completely smooth. You can sand on this after this layer. Gently sand if you need to help if there was like one bumpy spot, to help your decal lay smooth. Or you can just go ahead and put another layer. So I'm just getting it really good in all of the glitter, so that it's really good and protected, so that I don't go bumping it with some ice or something and glitter falls off in my drink, or I scratch it and I make a big ugly boo-boo on it. I'm going to get the edges really good. I'm going to get the nubbins really good. I'm going to get that center spot really, really well. And all of this, I'm still have the umbrella on that little silicone shape. So you get 4 in the package. So you can be working on these in stages, so you can make all 4 kind of at one time. So while one's curing, you could walk over to a different desk and do different steps. So I know this is kind of seems like it's a long process, but you can be doing other things while you're working on this. I really enjoy making these. I think they're super pretty, super fun. So I'm going to let this cure for 2 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so that top layer is now curing and should be finished any second now. And now I'm ready to peel the silicone bottom, the black part, off. If you want to just give that an extra 30 seconds, you can. It doesn't hurt anything to do some extra. Okay, so this is what we look like now. Can barely see where I had that little, that's where the silicone met. That's where I had taped it together. Because it's completely like even. Okay, so now I want to find that spot, and I'm going to work the opposite side just in case there's any weakness on my end. And I'm going to gently try to peel that silicone away from the umbrella, the UV resin umbrella. Let's see if I can get the white paper back. I hope y'all see a little bit better. There we go. So I'm going to kind of work my way around gently. Like right here, the resin kind of dripped over. So I'm just kind of working around that to try to release that mold or form, whatever you want to call this. So you will get a little bit neater as you go. I noticed that my haven't gotten a sloppy drippy with this the more I do it. There we go. So if you are good with the color of that umbrella, you don't have to paint it. This is such a pretty good beachy color. So many sparkles. You'll see all those sparkles in that. Oh, so pretty. You don't have to paint the underside of that. Mom was thinking about not. So if I hold the paint underneath it, I don't really see much difference. I'm trying to look at it, see if I see it on camera. Because I did the 2 coats. I know with the pink, when I did the pink one, it really did make the pink color pop, but I'm not sure I did 2 coats of pink on that, of pink glitter. So that could be why. So I'm not gonna do it on this one. I think it's so awesome. So I'm gonna squeeze it to show you the integrity. So that's pretty sturdy. No, I mean I could probably snap it in half if I really wanted to, but for what it is, it's good. It is a little bit bumpy. If I was gonna put a decal on, I probably would want to do one more layer of UV resin on the top. Just to get it a little bit smoother. You can also take white nail polish and paint the ends. And I just say nail polish because it dries a lot better than the acrylic paint. That will help give it a little bit of nice oomph. And then to get the straw hole in the middle, big enough for a straw, because it's going to be a little bit small right now, I just take a X-Acto knife. Sorry, my brain just completely farted. And gently, just kind of work it in there. Just to break a little bit of it off. And the reason you want to do this super gently is, one, you don't want to crack the whole thing. 2, I want my umbrella to kind of really hug the straw so that it's not so loose that it just falls right down on top of my tumbler. I want it to kind of where I can raise it or lower it wherever I want on the straw. So if I make my hole too big, then it's just going to just ride through the straw and sit on my tumbler. So there's twofold way you want to just gently kind of work that hole. And if you do make it too big, you can try to kind of, see, it's too little right now. You can kind of try to patch it back up with a little bit of, tiny little bit of resin, UV resin. See how that's just barely chipping any off. That's just what I want to do slowly. Just kind of work it around. Just almost. Then I also painted the little inside of the straw hole. There we go. White as well. I felt like it kind of just finished it off. I mean, I barely painted that white right there. There we go. So this had an extra layer. You can see how shiny it is that I did not do on the blue one. So that helps your decal lay. If I was going to put any kind of decals, it wouldn't be bumpy from the glitter. So that is how you make a larger version of the UV resin umbrella. That's not flat. How cool are those? So again, if you wanted to paint it, you could paint the underside, and if you paint it with something like nail polish, you can just leave it. But if you painted it with something like acrylic paint, then I would recommend that you brush a layer of UV resin inside and cure it from the underneath. And it might not be a bad idea too, just to cure it from the underside as well. Since it's see-through right now, it's gonna hit anything that may have been missed from the top down, from the bottom up right now. So you're not hurting anything by doing that. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake the camera. So this does have a layer of nail polish. This was very transparent nail polish. This was opaque nail polish. So so this really didn't help it a whole lot. It did a little bit, but this but if you wanted to do something full, you would need to make sure that it's not as transparent as what I had picked. Okay, so that is the umbrella. So now if you want to do some cute little flowers, let's work on those. So these flowers, I'll put a link to them. These are some of the ones that I've worked on. How cute are they? Super dainty, little, you know, so it just depends on how many layers you do on them. And it's the same process. And I painted these with nail polish. Like here's the yellow. And I got these at Walmart. This was Day Glow, Vacay, Flurry. And they were like $2 each. And Ravishing Gown. These are LA colors. They're gel-like shine, no UV needed on those. They didn't have a green. So these are straw toppers, but they have a little suction cup on them. So if you had something you can kind of stick them to, it helps. So on these, it's going to be the same process, where you're going to want to brush that UV resin on and cure it. So you're going to want to build up that base. It's kind of stuck. And so, you know, you can work on several at a time. Paint them, glitter them. So this one has a little bit of chunky glitter. This one has a pineapple twist on it from Kind of Culture. And then I think that little dot was some pink nail polish. And then I may have sprinkled a little bit of this milk on it. But I base painted this one with just some that white nail polish. So you can see how thin they can get if you don't put a lot on there. And then these here, I did not brush on, I blobbed these on straight out of the bottle. And so these are a lot thicker. So that's the difference. So blobbing it was taking it straight from the bottle. So this is what I call blobbing. Where you're just kind of taking the nozzle of the bottle and pushing it around. And it kind of leaves more resin on there, but it gets thicker faster. So the thinner they are, the more dainty they could break. That kind of thing. So that's blobbing it. And then painting it would be putting a little bit and you could also put it in a cup too, and then brushing it like we do with the other. So you want to make sure it's coating it really well. Build up that little center. Take your light and then cure it. So for these here, I blobbed these, so they're quite thick. Then I spray painted them, took them outside, spray painted them. So these need to be sealed. They're just raw. Raw. I'm not sure that's mica. I don't know what that is. It's in her mica collection, but it's almost like a glitter. A little bit of glitter on my brush. So I'm just sealing. Clean brush. Sealing that in. Little blue specks all in there. So that'll go underneath too. So that's how you make the little flowers. So it depends on how many layers you do, how thick they are. This one is pretty thick. I'm kind of trying to bend it. I did enough layers on it so that it's thick. It needs a final coat. And so it would look super cute up against, like if you had a pineapple on your ice topper lid. You know, just kind of gives it more of a Hawaiian element. How cute is that? So these are just a nice little touch and a quick way to make some flowers. And so these were a little bit different shapes. So that's how to do that. Yeah, I was gonna put these on the umbrella, but I don't like them now. So I would keep building those up to where they were thick enough to peel off, just like I did with the umbrella. Like that's probably just one layer and one layer of fingernail polish. So super, super thin versus a thicker, chunkier. So this one probably would break if I just bent it in half. So that's the difference in these. And like this one did break. But I can use the resin to kind of repair it. Like right over here, it kind of, I think that one did. Maybe I repaired it already. So that was just paint. Fingernail polish. Nothing fancy on that one. That one's a lot thinner. You can hear it kind of trying to crunch. So there's different styles of flowers. You can make a sunflower, put some brown in the middle of that one. Looks like a sunflower. But it got the fun edges, the little rough edges on that one. That one's super pretty. I don't know what kind of flower that is. It's got like the little stamen or whatever those are. Alright, so again, all of the links will be in the bottom description. I'll put some pictures of what I finished in the thumbnails and things like that. Feel free to put your comments down below. I try to respond to all of them. And please like, share, subscribe to Rock City Tumblers. We really appreciate y'all viewing our videos, and we hope to have more fun stuff put out in the future. Thanks so much. Happy crafting. Bye.